Food waste is one of the dumbest problems that this world faces. There is enough food in this entire world to feed us over and over and over again. There are millions and millions of pounds of food waste, and it is sickening because there's people that are going hungry, but then there's so much food that gets thrown out all the time. How many times have you guys noticed that in businesses where they just throw out perfectly good food? But why do they throw it out? Because it's not profitable for them to just give it away. And not only that, it's a liability if they eat the food. It's past the sell-by date. So, it's a liability if they eat it. So if they get sick, we can get sued by this homeless person or this hungry person. Now imagine that. We have so much food that's available to us, that's at our disposal in Western countries, in some Eastern countries, even in other countries, right? Where we have the opportunity, we have food, it exists. But there's still people who starve. There's still people who go hungry. Even though in colleges, millions of pounds of food are thrown out every semester from just people who don't finish their food, who just, I tasted it, I don't want it, throw it out. And me, when I was at university, I would watch how often people would get things, just throw it away. And granted, I always thought growing up, like, finish your plate, finish your plate, finish your plate, finish your food. And if you didn't finish it, you're gonna finish it later tonight. Or you didn't finish it, you're gonna finish it tomorrow. And that's how I live my life. But then when you notice and see how often people just waste food, waste drinks, and just dispose of things so easily, you tend to wonder, how is this really a problem in our society? Is it because of our greed? Is it because of our selfishness? And personally, when I watch this happen, I realize that it really is one of the dumbest problems we have, because we have an abundance of food. There's an abundance of land. We can feed 8 billion people, 9 billion people, 10 billion people. It's possible. People have food all the time. There's buffets all the time, everywhere opening up. It's not profitable to feed everyone. Granted, it's okay to make profit on food if you have a farmer and anything. That's awesome. It's great. But it's the fact that overall, there's still an excess of food. Food does exist. And with global food waste, the statistics are insane. For example, about 931 million tons of food get thrown out every year. 61% of it comes from household, 26% of it comes from food service, and 13% of it comes from retail. So it's more of a us problem. So at school, I noticed how often it happened, but realistically speaking, it's more of an us problem. We throw out so much food as household, as families, all the time, and we all adds up to all of us around the world. Look at how much food we're throwing away that's perfectly good food. And obviously the stupid quote of like, people are starving in Africa. It's like, well, people are starving in America. People are starving in Europe. People are starving all over the world. It's not just Africa. Come on now. Like, just be real. And I remember growing up playing a game called freerice.com and thinking, I'm beating so many people with this. And granted, I don't even know if this even did anything. It was a game that I felt good about that I was playing it. And it's one of those moments in life where you think, wait, if we are doing this, it is a problem. The World Economic Forum talks about it and knows it's a problem. Then what are we actually doing to solve it? Ways that we can actually solve it is, again, understanding what we're going to do when we actually eat food. Knowing how much to make, knowing how much you want to buy to consume, and understanding these different types of things. Knowing the difference between a best buy and a sell by date on a label. Or understanding the difference between a best buy and a sell by label. And knowing what the date actually means. And it's all these different things where you start to realize, how is this really a problem in our world when almost 17% of the world's food that's even made is thrown away? So imagine that. So much of that food, people go hungry, but there doesn't need to be this problem. And even so, the environmental impact is insane. If we're making all this food, we're spending all this water, these resources to make the food that we eventually then throw out, we're losing at every level. We're losing at people are hungry and thirsty. People are having a worse environment around them, and we're just throwing away perfectly good food. So we're collecting L's in every level. So that's something that I personally have noticed. You know what? Maybe if we talk about it and everyone can just focus a little bit more on just having that bit of food security, understanding, you know what? We're privileged. We have food, blah, blah, blah. Let me just eat what I can eat. Let me make sure I make enough food for just what's today. Maybe I can understand a budget, how to actually take care of food, understand the difference between a best buy label and a sell by label. All those little things, again, is really important. And if you do your part, it's not saying that you have to eliminate meat or do any of that stuff. Me personally, I'm not eliminating meat or doing other things either. So that's not the main problem. The main focus and problem here to focus on is just eliminating the waste that we have. And if we can do that, again, my number one concern personally. Some final statistics that I'll give you guys is almost 783 million people go hungry every year. Really think about that. But we have enough food to feed the whole planet over and over. But we still have that many people going hungry. That just doesn't sit right with me and does not make sense. Whatever we can do, please do. You don't even have to donate anything. As long as you reduce the amount you consume, as long as you don't throw out as much food as we are throwing out, we can one by one make this a little better. And if you yourself own a business in food, make sure you find a way to get some of this food to people. Find a way not to have this liability loom over your head, but doing the right thing, making sure we don't have food waste, making sure that we are focused on healing our environment, but also understanding that people matter, making sure people don't go hungry. That's important. Making sure people have food. And again, healthy foods are not hard to come by. Rice, beans, they take up water. Water is needed to make all these, but water is going to become a scarce resource. So understand that we have to have some sort of system that helps us all. Thank you guys again for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And again, I personally think food waste is one of the world's dumbest problems. That's just what I personally think. Let me know what you think as well. And if you guys have statistics of different things as well that you guys want to add, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. And if you guys have other things you guys want me to talk about, please feel free as well. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this to everyone. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time. See you later.